Hello, West Ham Network. It's Holly. I hope you're all well. And today we are going to be taking a little look at the international break and what we can take from it so far. So while the intro runs in a second, I've got a favour to ask. Number one, in the comment section, get your content requests in. I want to hear the kinds of content that you want to hear us cover because I want to try and do some of these videos. And in the meantime, hit that thumbs up button so that we know that you enjoy the video, and to support the channel, let's go. So, as we know, the World Cup qualifiers have kicked off and it's seen international action. So, we're going to be taking a little peek at what has been happening while there haven't been any Premier League games and touch on that game that's happened behind closed doors against Brentford. So, first of all, just touching on the international stuff, the Czech boys, they faced Gibraltar and enjoyed a 4-0 win, following on from their 2-1 win against the Faroe Islands. Souček captained the side and also managed to get himself an assist for their third goal against Gibraltar, continuing his record of goal involvements that he likes to bring at the moment wherever he goes, and hopefully he can up that and do more of that at West Ham as well. So this means that Czech Republic are now at the top of Group L alongside Montenegro, who they've got a game against in June. Agard got the first goal for Morocco last night. He fired a loose ball into the back of the net in the 51st minute, which made a massive difference. First goal in their 2-0 win against Tanzania. He's definitely another one that we're going to need to put a little bit of thought into at West Ham, because he's on loan at Real Sociedad. There's just a big question mark, isn't there, over whether we should bring him back as an option to have at West Ham, because he is getting goal involvements. He is being pretty solid. Do we sell him to get some money so that we can reinvest that elsewhere? Or do we keep him out on loan, which I don't think really brings many benefits at this moment in time, because he's good enough for someone to buy him, or he's good enough to be an option for us, but he's not good enough to just send him out on loan and not need to pay his wages. Callum Marshall came on for the final 25 minutes against Sweden. He got a shot that was blocked by the keeper in that time, so didn't manage to score. And unfortunately, they lost 5-1, only managing a consolation goal from Isaac Price in the 89th minute. And then in addition to the international action, like we said, there has been a game against Brentford played behind closed doors, according to X. Now, while we didn't have any of our international players that had games, we stuck to a 5-3-2 formation, and we had a pretty decent starting 11 on paper. We had Fabianski in goal. We had Wan-Bissaka, Kilman, Todibo, Irving and Emerson at the back. Then in midfield was Soler, Paqueta and Rodriguez. And then we played Guilherme and Ings up top, essentially. The most unexpected part of this lineup was obviously having Irving as slotting in as a centre-back, which is definitely an interesting one that I probably didn't really see coming. We know he's a bit of a unit, so he wouldn't look out of place in that back line. But with his ability to introduce a little bit more link-up play, I'm keen to see whether we try this again and whether it could be something that could help us to be that bit more dynamic before we can make some signings in the summer, and help us in the way that we could play out from the back and maybe fix what's going on in midfield slightly by being able to bring more players into the game. From what's been said, he was calm under pressure and good with the ball at his feet. So that's kind of all you can ask from a centre-back. It's definitely more of what we'd want to see from him. Guilherme's performance sounds as though it was probably one of the highlights. He looked pacey, made runs, which is all good. Unfortunately, this didn't amount to anything. And while we started with more possession in Brentford, it looks as though we just struggled in midfield, and Ings wasn't able to make anything happen up top. Guilherme's a big old question as well, because personally, I'll be devastated to see a project like Guilherme, who, when he has had the opportunity, he's looked decent enough, but obviously we're not giving him enough game time to be able to fairly assess that. However, it's also a lot of money for sort of a long-term project when we have urgent needs right now. So I also want to hear in the comments section, would you keep or sell Guilherme? Because I don't know if we'd make much of a profit on him at this moment in time. I have a feeling if we get rid of him, it could come back to bite us in the arse. But at the same time, we need money in more key positions with players that are probably more likely to change what we can do as a team right now. So, yeah, that was a highlight, is Guilherme. And despite looking uncomfortable in that first half, we conceded very early in the second half. There was an unmarked tap-in at the back post, and it didn't sound like there was too much to shout about after that, to be honest. We brought Fulkrug on for the second half, but that didn't seem to make the difference that we needed. X said that Fulkrug did have one chance to shot, but the ball got caught up under his feet, which is what we'd seen since he came back once, I believe. And that was the extent of his chances. So at the moment, it's looking as though we are struggling massively in terms of creating opportunities. We're getting the possession. We're starting to look a little bit more like we're pressing more, but it's a big missing puzzle piece at the moment. So I have to see what happens there. In terms of positives, though, the pressing sounds like it was the biggest takeaway. We kept Brentford under pressure as they played out from the back, which is not an easy feat against Brentford. But that said, I think it just sounds as though, in general, our final third is where the issues are. We can't get accurate crosses in, balls go to the keeper's hands, shots go anywhere other than the back of the net. There's just a lot of work to be done there. And then, in addition to this, another positive that we can add, we did give the youth more of a chance, and they were excellent. So Wan-Bissaka was replaced by Junior Robinson, and Preston Fearon worked to make attacking play from midfield, which is very good because that was something we were struggling massively with by the sounds of it in this game. So having more youngsters proving themselves is definitely a good thing for the future. Again, we're kind of just struggling with the short term here and now what we need, which is somebody that can just link up that midfield and bring a little bit more pace when we've got the ball so we can actually bring it from defence to attack. I feel like we've said this so many times, we've said it for such a long time, but we're still missing that puzzle piece. And I'm just hoping that we have that in our current squad so that we can make that happen before summer. And then strengthen in the summer. But that was it. The game ended 1-0. Neither side played well or looked threatening. We made Brentford look pretty uninspiring. They made us look pretty uninspiring. But it was just a lapse in concentration, a momentary one that cost us, alongside, obviously, our inability to create or convert chances. And Potter is no doubt going to be frustrated with the result, but ultimately, we got a game in against Brentford, who are typically a challenging side to face. We got some minutes under our belt for those not travelling overseas, as well as for some new faces that we got to see. So the future is definitely looking the brightest it has for like the academy in a while. As for the first team, I'm really not sure. There is still so much work to be done. So let us know your thoughts ahead of the Wolves game next week. And here's hoping those on international duty come back ready to go and prove a point, and we can get 3 points against Wolves, which we really need to be doing, and Bournemouth, which we also really should be doing. So that's all from me for now, but tune in at 5 p.m. I'm going to be running through your Hammers headlines for today. If you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up button down below and get involved in the conversation in that comment section. Also, make sure you subscribe so you never have to miss out on the action at West Ham Network. That's all from me for now. Have a great day, and until next time, enjoy that warmer weather. Come on, you Irons. Irons.